Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye. Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Pranaschakshushrotramatho Balamindriyani Cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Mama Brahma Nirakarod Anirakarnamastva Nirakarnam me astu Tadatmani nirate Yaupanishatsu dharmaste mai santu te mai santu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Passage 43 on the page number 7. Tadh uvaye devasuraha anubudhire teh uchuhu hanta tamatmanam anvichamaha yamatmanam anvishya sarvam shalokanapnoti sarvam shakaman iti indro heva devanam abhiparvavraja virocanaha asuranam tauha asamvidano eva samitpani prajapati sakasham ajagmatuhu. Tadduvaye devasuraha anubudhire. Both the gods and the demons verily heard that which was passed on from person to person. Anubudhire. It came down from, by word of mouth, it came down to devatas as well as asuras. And that was, as we said in the morning, the intention of Prajapati to make this declaration in like cyberspace. So someday it will reach. And the idea is that it should reach. And as we said in the morning, then only people will think that there is something that we have to know. Otherwise, it may not occur to anybody that Atma is someone to be known, or that the knowledge of Atma gives this great reward, gives moksha, liberation in our life, which was described as attainment of all the lokas and all the kamas. But the point is that I know myself as the very self of all the lokas, all the kamas, the self of all. And still perhaps that may not be clear to the devatas and asuras, but the words in which the result was described, Sa sarvamsya lokan apnoti sarvamsya kaman. The one who knows these attains all the worlds and attains all the kamas. So these words naturally attracted the devatas and asuras. They may not know at this point what is the implied meaning of attaining all the worlds and all the lokas, or all the kamas. That can you really attain all the worlds? Can you attain? They may not. But that this is very attractive and therefore that is what they wanted. Indro eva devanam pravavraja. Indro Raja eva swayam. Among all the devatas, Indra, who is the king of all the devatas himself, Itaran devamscha bhoga parichadam sara sthapayitva. He left behind all devatas, all the attendants, all the luxuries and everything that he had, and just by himself, carrying his own body, meaning carrying nothing with him, Indra, Prabhupada, he set out to reach Prajapati. Virochana Asurana, Virochana also had the same inspiration that he also. So apparently they knew what is the process of approaching the teacher. Vinena Gurava Abhigantavyaha iti. That the gurus, the teachers must be approached with humility. And humility includes also Shraddha, Bhakti. Naturally, they went all the way to Prajapati, who is in Brahmaloka, only because they have Shraddha. Their trust in Prajapati, that yes, when going to Prajapati, that we will be able to fulfill our desire. And you need to surrender yourself to the feet of teacher only when you have bhakti or devotion. So this also demonstrates Shraddha and Bhakti that Indra and Virochana had. Also their Vairagya also, because they gave up everything and just carried their own body, meaning leaving everything. That shows tremendous Vairagya. This is said here as the praise or extolling the knowledge. Trailokya rajyaya cha gurutara vidyayati. Vidya Trailokya rajyaya cha gurutara. The Vidya, the Brahma Vidya, is greater than even the three worlds. Because they were essentially the Lord of the worlds, and then they just let it go for the sake of the knowledge. Therefore, this Viveka, this discrimination was in their mind that this knowledge is greater than even the rulership of the three worlds. Then further, the other further characteristics of these two is also said here. To asamvidanav eva samitpani. Asamvidanav, without each other's knowledge. So, each one of them heard, and without informing the other, they went independently, separately, except that they met there, that was a different matter, but except that, they didn't want the other one to know. In a way, this also is said to extol the Brahma Vidya, how valuable that Vidya is, that this fellow doesn't want the other one to have it. If Vidya was not very valuable, he may as well have it. But no, I must have it, and he should not have it. So this was very clear. Savitpani Prajapati Sakasham Ajagmatuhu. Yes, they followed the process, due process of carrying a, load of faggots in their hand, bundle of faggots in their hand. That was the traditionally approach, Samit Pani Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. So they followed the tradition of approaching the teacher. And in between, other steps also should be understood. Vivekachudamani describes the qualification of teacher, then also says, what is then the duty of the disciples? Tamaradya gurum bhaktya prakhva prashraya sevanaihi. The guru such as this, and gurus are those who are devoid of all the desires, devoid of any expectation, and those who abide in the knowledge, like the fire abides, the fire that is put out abides in just the embers, and so fire is completely quietened down, so also his mind is quiet, and those who abide in the knowledge of Brahman. And therefore, those who are free from all desires, expectations, demands, they enjoy a mind which is totally at peace with itself because there is no conflict there. There is no expectation, no desire, no conflict. Total self-acceptance. That is what the knowledge brings about, is because the conflict that we have is for our own self. Our own non-acceptance brings about a conflict with our own self, and that is the root of other conflicts also. As we said earlier, the conflict that we have out there is also ultimately the result of the conflict that I have with my own self. So they are free from all that conflict, enjoy a total peace or tranquility of mind. Tamaradya gurum bhaktya, that kind of guru, so the disciple should worship him with devotion and serve him. Prakhva prashraya, and with the body, with the speech, with the mind, with total personality, the disciples serve and worship a teacher like that. As Lord Krishna says, tad viddhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Lord Krishna also says that may you approach the wise teachers pranipatena, with long prostration, then sevaya, serve them. Prasannam tamanuprapya prachednyatavyamaatmanah, serve them, make them pleased with you, win over their heart. That's what Bhashyakara explains there. Bhagavad Gita, Bhashyakara says that the jignasu or the aspirant should win over the heart of the teacher by serving him. Now that doesn't sound very good. It's good for the... You mean the teacher is expecting to be served, to be pleased? No, not really. But this is a special kind of pleasure. The teacher, being who he is, always happy, pleased. But then when a teacher such as that finds a disciple who is a fit disciple and interested in Brahma Vidya, now that's a very rare entity. So he is further pleased, such as in case of Yajnavalkya and Maitreyi. When, as you know very well, Yajnavalkya said that I am now leaving home because I want to enter the sannyasa ashrama, I will become a parivrajaka, a wandering monk, and I am leaving all the wealth to you, nothing to worry about. So Maitreyi famously asks that, oh Venerable Sir, not only the wealth that you are giving, but if I am given the earth, the whole earth full of all the riches, not this wealth that you are giving, but if I am given the earth full of the riches, will that make me immortal? That's a very strange question. Yajnavalkya says, no. Amrutatvasya nasasi, you cannot become, wealth cannot make you immortal. With wealth you can live a comfortable life, but certainly immortality there cannot be. By wealth is meant all worldly gains. Wealth, name, fame, power, they cannot give immortality. Then what's the use of that? If all of this that you are giving does not make me immortal, what use is of that to me, she says. Then she further says, please give me that which you have, because I see that you have, you enjoy that immortality. And therefore, give me that. So Yajnavalkya is mighty pleased. He was always pleased with Maitreyi because he loved her and she also loved him. But when Maitreyi displays this quality that she is also a Jignasu, see that she wants Brahma Vidya, I am mighty pleased. You Maitreyi is always dear to me, but today you are specially dear to me. So everybody is dear to the Guru, to a Mahatma. But when an aspirant goes to a Mahatma and expresses the desire that may you please impart knowledge to me, then Mahatma is first, be specially pleased. Prasannam, then Mahatma is pleased, specially pleased. You cannot say that he is pleased because of service to the service that is given by the disciple or something or other. But he is pleased to find someone who is interested in Brahma Vidya, who has given up everything else. In the words of Puja Swami, he has burnt all the boats. And then who burned all the boats means that he has cut off all the ways of going back. He can't go back. And that vairagya, that commitment is what makes the teacher mighty pleased. And so this is the kind of happiness that the teacher should get. Out of that, upadekshantite jnanam, when they are pleased with you, they will definitely impart knowledge to you. So thus, Indra and Virochana also approached Prajapati with faggots in the hands. Then the story continues. It says here, you don't have the whole story. Some things I keep with myself, Tauha dvatrimshatam varshani brahmacharyam usatuhu. Now both Indra and Virochana, they reached there, and for 32 years they performed penance. They were the life of brahmacharya, of shraddha, of bhakti and seva, service to the teacher. For 32 years, both of them, and they are not ordinary people. One is the king of heaven, and another is the king of the demons, and very big people. They lived just like ordinary people, ordinary brahmacharis. And as the description will come, their nails, 32 years of hair has grown, I guess, up to the ground, and nails must have become so many feet long. Not up to date every day, and well dressed, no such thing. Tapasvi means penance. Tavadvatrimshatam varshani brahmacharyam usatuhu. Brahmacharya means service to the teacher. So about 32 years they lived there. 32 years of the devatas, not about 32 years. 1 year of devata is 12,000 years of human beings. This is what I imagine. 32 years of the devatas, I guess so. So Prajapati vacha. Then Prajapati asked them, Kimichandu avastamiti. What is it desiring? What have you been staying here for all this time? So Prajapati pretty well guessed why they have come here. And still he wanted to confirm that what he thinks is exactly what is in the mind of the students. He knew why they must have come, but still he wanted them to clearly express it in case they have some other desire, who knows. They can surprise Prajapati by producing an astrological chart, and then do you see it? This chart, what do you think will happen to me, and what about my matrimonial alliance or something like that. So it's possible that somebody can surprise you like that. Still Prajapati, then he says, what is the desiring? What have you been staying here for all this time? Tuh uchatuhu, they said, Ya Atma, they repeated the whole, Ya Atma, Apahata Papma, Vijana, Vimrityu, Vijagat Vishoka, Vijagatsaha, Pipasaha, Satyakama, Satyasankalpaha, Anvestavya, Vijignasitavya, Sa Sarvamsa Lokanapnoti, Sarvamsa Kaman, Yastamatmanam, Anuvidya, Vijanatiti. He repeated the whole statement of Prajapati. Iti Bhagavataha Vacho Vedayante. This is what the learned people say, that this is what, sir, you say. Venerable sir, this what you said is what the learned people say. Tamichantu avastamiti. It is with desiring that we have stayed here for 32 years. Meaning that we want the self-knowledge. But very clear what we want. What kind of knowledge we want that gives rise to this result. How the knowledge is to be gained by anvestavya, vijignasitavya, in that manner that you must learn at the feet of the teacher and you must make it your own knowledge. So this is Atma that we want to know. Desiring that, we have come to you. Then turn to page 8. Tauha Prajapatihi Vacha Yeshaha Akshini Purusho Drishyate Esha Atmeti Hovacha Etadamritam Abhayam Etad Brahmeti Athayoyam Bhagavaha Apsuparikyayate Yaschayam Adarshe Katam Esha Iti Eshu Eva Eshu Sarveshu Vanteshu Parikhyayate iti hovacha. So, those two, tapasvino, shuddha kalmasho, yogyo upalabhya. Now, Prajapati found that these two have performed penance for 32 years. And tapasa kalmasham hanti. This tapas or penance is meant for eliminating kalmash or impurities. That they have performed penance for such a long time, that means that now their mind must be devoid of the impurities. And thus they have now the fitness to receive this knowledge. Shuddha kalmasho yogyo upalabhya. Seeing the two who must be now devoid of all the impurities and now fit to receive this knowledge. Prajapati Uvacha, Prajapati said, Esha Akshini Purusho Drishyate Esha Atmeti Hovacha. So see the translation. Esha Akshini Purusho Drishyate. The literal translation is the person that is seen Akshini in the eyes. Esha Atma, that is the self. That's rather a strange way of saying. But Prajapati said that Purusha, they use the word Purusha. Purusha means conscious being. The conscious being that is seen in the eye. Esha Atmeti Hovacha. This one is the Atma, that one is the Atma. And further, Etad Amritam, Abhayam, Etad Brahma. That Purusha, who is Atma, is Amritam, immortal, Abhayam, fearless, Brahma, the limitless. So this is what Prajapati said. Eshaha, that pronoun Eshaha, By that, Prajapati refers to what he said earlier, Ya Atma Apahata Papma, that same Atma I am talking about. The Atma that is sinless, devoid of death, devoid of old age, devoid of death, devoid of hunger, devoid of thirst. That very Atma that I spoke about is what I am now telling you. That Atma, ye akshini purusho drishyase. The Purusha, the conscious being that is seen in the eye, Esh Atmeti Hovacha, that is Atma. But Prajapati did not simply stop there and says, Etad Abhayam, Etad Amrutam, Etad Abhayam, Etad Brahmeti, that is immortal, that is fearless, that is Brahma. So that also is said, by the way. These two individuals heard the early Esha Akshini Purusha Drishyase Esh Atma Eta Atma iti. So naturally, each one, I guess, looked into the eye of the other. You know what did Prajapati say? The person, the conscious being that is seen in the eye is Atma. So I guess each one of them looked into the eye of the other. What do they find? They find the reflection. Chaya Rupam Purusham Jagruhatuhu. They assume that Prajapati is saying that the reflection is Atma. Now, the statement that the Guru makes also has to be understood after deliberating upon that. That's called Vichara. So Shastra Vakyas must be understood after deliberating upon the what possible meaning there is. Is it what Prajapati says that the Purusha, the person seen in the eye is Atma, and they looked at and they concluded reflection is Atma. Prajapati further said, Etad Amrutam Abhayam Etad Brahma, that is immortal, that is fearless, that is Brahma. That part is not taken into account. Otherwise, you can say that that entity that is seen in the eye, the reflection, does it satisfy these qualifications? That it is fearless, is immortal, is Brahma. Can it be? They didn't think. They simply took this much. Esha akshini purusha drishyate. The Purusha, the person that is seen in the eye, Esha Atma, that is Atma. So each one of them looked in the eyes of the other and concluded that Prajapati, the teacher, is saying that the reflection is Atma. Chaya Rupam Purusham Jagruhatuhu. Alright. And then they wanted to confirm our understanding, that they wanted to confirm their understanding. Therefore, they further asked, Yoyam Bhagava Apsu Parikhyayate Yaschayam Adarshe Katamesha iti. To verify their understanding that reflection is Atma, they further asked, Bhagavaha, O Venerable Sir, Yah Apsu Parikhyayate. That which is clearly seen in water, because reflection is seen in water also. Yaschayam Adarshe, that which is seen in the mirror. Katamena, so many Atmas are there. One that is seen in the eye, that reflection, and they realize that reflection is seen in other places, other reflecting surfaces also. So one that is seen in the water, that is also, and one that is seen in the mirror. Which one of them is Atma? Katama Esha. Katama means which one of them? Which one of the many is Atma? Kaha, Kataraha, Katamaha. Ityeshahu. So, Prajapati gave a very strange reply. Esha eva eshu sarveshu anteshu parikhyayate. He replied that this very one is clearly seen in all these. Prajapati said that what do you see in water, what do you see in mirror, and what do you see even in a sword, in the reflecting surface, that is Atma. This is what Prajapati said. So then a discussion is taken up here. See, Prajapati says, Eshaha sarveshu anteshu. Eshaha, this one. So Bhashyakara says that when Prajapati is this one, that Eshaha is what is in his mind. In his mind is the Chaitanya, the consciousness, that is Atma. And he says that is the one that is seen in all these surfaces. So the question is, Nanu katham yuktam? Shishyo pritigraham anujñātam. Looks like Prajapati seems to consent the understanding of disciples. Yes, what is seen in the mirror, what is seen in water is Atma. How is it right for someone like Prajapati to confirm the wrong understanding of the disciples? Prajapatehe vigata doshasya acharyasya stataha. See, Prajapati is not like any ordinary entity. He is Acharya vigata doshaha. Prajapati is the one that is devoid of all the defects, all impurities. He is one of pure heart. You do not expect him to cheat somebody. You don't expect him to misguide somebody. And his words are openly misguiding these disciples when he says that yes, what you see in all these surfaces is Atma. Is it, so question is asked, is it proper for Prajapati to say this? Satyamevam, this is Bhashyakara's discussion. You are right, then that's what Prajapati say. Na Anutam, but Prajapati did not say what is wrong. See, now how Bhashyakara interprets Prajapati said, yes, what is seen in all this surface is Atma, as though confirming the false understanding of these two disciples. So then the question is asked, how can someone like some ordinary fellow can do that? Therapy teachers say, okay, all right, yeah, you're right, go ahead, go home. The teachers don't always part with everything that they have, There are some, you need a great teacher to part with everything. Otherwise, some teachers always keep something. Like this teacher who was teaching, what do you call it, the martial art, or not boxing, but wrestling. He was a wrestling teacher. And he taught all the different, different poses and everything to his disciple. So now you know everything. Disciple, now I know everything. He says, now let me fight. Come, fight with me. Disciple challenge his teacher, And they started wrestling, and then he applied some kind of a trick, and that fellow was flattened. Disciple was flattened. Then he says, you did not teach me this. So you are right, something kept in my pocket because you may challenge me. Katora dao. It's called this katora dao I had kept in my pocket. That's what they used to do. I was told in those days, many years ago, like in our medical college, the surgeons were finally, the final test will be taken by the practicing surgeon, the oral test, the viva. And usually the brightest student will not be passed. Because if he becomes surgeon, he will become the competitor. So usually they will not pass. That's how ordinary teachers are. And Prajapati also seems to have confirmed the wrong understanding of his disciples. Looks like he's like these local teachers or what? You don't expect that from Prajapati. Bhashyakara says, you're right. But no, he did not say false. Look at this. Bhashyakara says, even though he said it, he did not tell a lie. How do you say he did not tell a lie? Katham? How do you say that in spite of Prajapati saying that yes, the reflection seen in all the is Atma, how come it is not alive? So this is Bhashyakara, by the way. See, we have to understand the tatparya of the purpose, the role of Bhashyakara is tatparya nischaya. So, what is the true understanding of a word or true understanding of a sentence? It is not often just the literal meaning of a word or literal meaning of sentence that is the true meaning. True meaning is the meaning in which the speaker intended to use that word or a sentence. Here the speaker is Shruti. So Shruti is teaching us, Shruti is communicating to us. So this is just a general rule, by the way, that when we are communicating with each other, then right away we attack the person, that's what I did not say that, I did not mean that. So this is a very common thing. This is what you told me, I did not mean that. So what the literal meaning is one thing and what intended by the speaker could be different. And the true communication takes place only when we understand what is intended meaning. This is a rule, by the way, in all our day-to-day communication. Between two people, misunderstanding is very common. I did not mean that. This is what you said. I did not. No, that goes on. I said it all right, but I did not mean that. The intended meaning was different. And listener takes just a literal meaning. Not uncommon at all. So here also, what was the intention of Prajapati in saying that, yes, the Atma, the reflection seen is Atma? So now Bhashyakara says, who is he talking to? He is talking to Indra and Virochana. Who are Indra and Virochana? Atmani adhyaurapita Panditya, Mahatva, Bodhrutva, Indra Virochana. Indra Virochana, both of them are pretty proud people because they are highly respected and highly revered by the whole world, and they also have these notions about themselves. Panditya, very, very learned. Mahatva, we are great. Bodhrutva, we are intelligent. So we are learned, we are great, we are intelligent. This is what both Indra and Virochana think about themselves. And they were. But the thing is, there are two kinds of Brahmasya, there are two kinds of Sukshma Buddhi and Tivra Buddhi. The sharp intelligence and subtle intelligence. For understanding the worldly matters, you need a sharp intelligence. For understanding this, you need a subtle intelligence. Drishyate tu agraya buddhya sukshmaya sukshmadarshibihi. Kathopanita says that Atma can be seen by those who possess sukshma buddhi, subtle mind, and ekagra buddhi, and also single-pointed mind. So you need a different kind of a mind to understand this. The intelligence that we have to understand worldly things is one thing, but intelligence that is needed to understand this is different. That is the reason why the emphasis is on Antakarana Shuddhi. That even though a person may be very learned and very intelligent and great, and still if he does not possess what we call the purity of mind, then he does not have the subtlety to understand the intended meaning of the scriptures. Because here the speaker is Shruti. Now you don't see her, but Shruti is telling us. And therefore, in what sense should we understand these statements? In the sense in which Shruti intended. That's called Tatparyartha. The purported meaning. Therefore, what is called Shravanam is Tatparya Nischaya. Most important thing is Tatparya Nischaya, determining what is the intended meaning, what is the meaning intended by the scriptures, not what is just a literal meaning. This is where you need a teacher. If we study ourselves, we know all grammar and all logic and everything, and we'll understand things, and mostly in a literal sense. You need a teacher to tell us not the vachyartha but the lakshyartha. Here also, what Indra Virochana understood was vachyartha. That is, the person, the conscious being in the eyes is Atma. Now, to anybody it would not make sense, and then what you see in a reflection, that is Atma, to conclude the reflection in Atma, would not make sense, but still Prajapati did not correct their false understanding. Why? Because they thought that they were very great, they were very learned, they were very intelligent. They thought about themselves, and then in the world also they were well known that way. So in the Prajapati say, you stupid fellows, don't you understand the simple thing? How can reflection be Atma? Suppose Prajapati said, he could have said that, and we may as well say that, you stupid. Mudhav yuvam viparita grahina viti. Hey, both of you are stupid. You understood something totally different wrongly. Prajapati could have said that, because that's what they were. But if he did say, then what happens? Tataha tayo chitte dukkham sa. If somebody tells us that you are stupid, which we may be. I may be stupid, but if somebody tells you are stupid, now then I become very upset. I become very sad, and I lose all my self-esteem. Because someone very revered, someone very important to me tells me that you are stupid, I take it that that's what it is meant. If some Tom, Dick and Harry, he doesn't know what he's talking about. But suppose my teacher says you are stupid, now I take that seriously. And then I will lose all my self-esteem, that I am stupid, I am no good. So in that case, tayo chitte dukkham syat. If this is what Prajapati say to them, they would become very sad. Tad janitacha chitta vasadat, and therefore the mind would become very sad. Puna prashna shravana grahana udharanam pati utsaha vighatasya. They will lose self-confidence. They will lose enthusiasm. So if we may say something like this again, that would be really stupid, therefore they would be discouraged from asking a further question, further inquiry, and therefore their pursuit of knowledge would stop right there. Understand this. They were stupid. But this is what Prajapati told them, you are stupid. Then they would be really disappointed about their own self. Because Prajapati is very important, he says stupid, that means we are stupid. So whatever self-esteem they had, all their self-esteem would be lost. They would become very sad in their mind, lose their self-esteem, and lose all self-confidence also of asking any further question. It may be again another stupid question I don't want to ask. So many people hesitate from asking questions. Most people don't write their name anyway, so that is okay. But we don't want to sound stupid. In front of many other people, if I ask question which may not be an intelligent question, then people, what would think of me? So they write and they don't write their name. They don't own up the question. Doesn't matter. There are some people who say, if you don't write the name, I will not answer. There are some who say that. Unless you declare who you are, I will not answer. Then there will be no question in the session. We want that. Since we want that, therefore we accept, all right, don't declare your name. At least we have some questions, so we can answer, and we have some satsang. But otherwise, you hesitate. If you ask a question, everybody laughs. What happened? What did I say? Then that is the end of him, because now in front of these people he would not ask, because he is... So this is what would happen If Prajapati told them that you are not understood, you misunderstood me, you did not follow a simple thing, you are both stupid, in that case, they have lost all self-esteem, all enthusiasm to ask any question, all enthusiasm to understand also, and that would have been the end of the pursuit of knowledge. So this is how, says Bhashyakara, that Rakshanayo Shishyo Iti, the disciple should be protected. The teacher should protect the disciple. There are some always control the disciples. They always put them in their place. You are this, and therefore for the whole duration this fellow is always controlled. And therefore he never raises his head and always obedient. So some people like to control others, and the way to control is, that, this happens, I have seen this in married life. With the right example or not, but anyway, I have seen this myself. So, this man got married to this woman, they are both young, and the wife says, go to market and get this is vegetable. Get eggplant and get, okra and this and that. And he goes with all the enthusiasm and brings that vegetable and says, what? This eggplant is 3 days old? Okra, don't you understand how to buy okra? These are all old. They are all, you should know how to, there is a way of testing this okra. If the tip can be, then you know that okra is fresh. If it not, then okra is ripe. On the very first day, she says that from that day, he is under her control. Or other way is that this fellow is driving, you drive from behind. Hey, stop it! Hey, don't do this! Don't take this turn! Hey, stop! Slow down! This fellow driving the driver. Now, these are some of the ways of controlling people. And I guess it may be needed in married life. I don't know, maybe. But certainly between this teacher and the student, that should not be the relationship. That you don't control the student. Give them the freedom. Of course, when somebody gives us freedom, then we should have maturity also to own up that freedom. The freedom always brings responsibility with it. And when we are given freedom, we should display also responsibility to own up that freedom. In both ways. So that is how Shishyo Rakshaniyo. The disciples must be protected, meaning that their self-esteem must be protected. Their enthusiasm must be protected. The desire to know must be protected. That they made a mistake today, that doesn't mean that they will mistake all the time. And we will correct that mistake. What's the big deal? I am the teacher. It's my role to correct the mistakes. And I will correct the mistake in such a manner that they don't feel that is also a way. We will find here how Prajapati wants to correct their mistake. Also in a manner that they learn through that process of correcting the mistake. So Prajapati goes a very long way. He doesn't straight away tell them, hey, you should understand the lakshyas, not vachyas, etc. Because even he is told, yes, we have understood, no, that won't be enough. What I meant is the consciousness, oh, we understand now. That may not be enough. It should be the result of their vichara. Prajapati's vakya is Shruti vakya. And the disciples must carry out the vichara to understand the meaning of that vakya. Then only it will become their knowledge. If Prajapati explains, I meant not this and that, they will say, oh, I think we understood. But then it doesn't become their knowledge. When they reflect upon them, that's the Vedantartha vichara. The reason why vichara or deliberation upon the statements of the Vedanta should be done is so that we understand the Tatparya. See, if you see the Vedanta Sara, Shravana means Tatparya Nischaya. Purpose of Shravanam, listening to teacher, is Tatparya Nischaya. What is the purport of the Shruti? So what does Prajapati think? Grunnitam tavat. All right, for the time being, let them, go with this wrong meaning. But Prajapati has in mind some further experiments. Udashara udashtantena apaneshyamiti. In the mind, Prajapati thinks that I will now give them some experiments, make them some experiments from which they will learn. So, all right, they've misunderstood. I will correct their understanding in such a manner that they will now, by illustration, they will know. So, this is what is in Prajapati's mind. And still the question is, regardless of that, Prajapati told a lie, that's for sure, is it not so? Prajapati had good intention of protecting his disciples, and he had the idea that now, next time in experiment I will make them see. Still, this vakya is anutam or not? Prajapati had good intention, but still what he said is false. So the questioner continues, persists. Nanu na yuktam esha uyaveti anutam vaktum. Still Prajapati, what he said is anutam, is false. See, this is Bhashyakara responsibility. But this question will arise in our mind, or should arise. How did Prajapati say this? Why did he say that? Why did he say something wrong? So if we do not ask question, Bhashyakara will raise this question. This question should arise in our mind. And then, otherwise we may lose Shraddha of Prajapati. How can he say this? What kind of a teacher is he? So Bhashyakara wants to protect us also. That we should not lose Shraddha in Prajapati, otherwise we will close the book and we won't study further. So Nanu na yuktam eshav. Still, what Prajapati said is untrue or false. Is it not so? Na, Bhashyakara says no. That's anutam uktam. Even though Prajapati said, he did not say what is false. So Bhashyakara says, look at Prajapati's words. So, eshaha purusha. Esha means this one. Now what is this one? When you use the pronoun this one, you have in mind something that is this one. So why eshaha Prajapati has in mind only the conscious being? So keeping that in mind, he says, that is the one that is the self of all. So from the standpoint of Prajapati, he did not say false. It may look like us, but from standpoint of Prajapati, Atmana Ukta Akshipurusho Manasi. So what is most close or proximate to Prajapati is that conscious being, that is Atma. So Esha means this one. So this one is what is immediate, what is proximate. And what is proximate to Prajapati? What is proximate to Prajapati is the Atma of the self. And therefore, he did not quite say that yes, what is seen in the mirror, what is there is Atma, because ultimately Atma is the self of all anyway. So all these fellows are Atma, meaning Atma alone appears all of this. You can say that way. Prajapati did not say what is wrong. So, and further, Prajapati continued his statement to eliminate the false understanding of the disciples, which we'll see in the next class, that what Prajapati did to correct the understanding. Did not get corrected, what he further did to correct understanding. So Prajapati will take pains to correct the understanding of the disciples. He just did not leave them hanging. We'll see that tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo